This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you by the Daily Herald.
I'm here at Naperville Central with head coach Strausberger of the Naperville Central boys volleyball team. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
So, postseason play coming up next week. Just kind of talking about the regular season, did this team live up to your expectations, what you had coming into the year?
Yeah, right now going into the playoffs, we are 22-13. So we've had a little bit of an up and down season. So we've had some very good wins, but we've also had some pretty bad losses. Just we're competing with everybody, but we're finding it difficult to win third sets if we go into third set matches. But we're taking a lot of games off of people, but just not matches off of people. So we've had a couple disappointing losses here.
Going into playoff time, what do you think makes this team most dangerous come postseason play?
Well, I think if we can play up to our potential and play with confidence and keep that confidence throughout a match and that consistency, I think we have a good chance to surprise some people. We've played Glenbard West twice already this year, so every time you play good teams, I think you get a little more comfortable with them.
They kind of play the level of competition. Has that been the issue and the good thing? They kind of play down and then play up?
Yeah, sometimes. It's just been really kind of strange as far as us kind of picking and choosing when we want to play hard and which team is stepping on the court for us. So.
What has this team had to work hardest at in practice to get better at a certain thing so far this season?
Yeah, we've been working hard on our block. We typically we struggle when we're not blocking or playing defense. So really, that's been our focus, is to get good defense and to tighten up that block and get more touches on the ball up at the net.
With playoff time approaching, I saw at the beginning of this practice, it didn't seem like they were focused right away, had them run a little bit. Is there a different approach that you have coming into practice come playoff time?
It's a little harder towards the end of the season. I mean, the seniors have all graduated, so our goal is to keep them involved and hopefully, obviously with it being their senior year and last year of playing, hopefully they don't check out early, and are pushing the younger players to still compete and that. So, we've still got a lot of season left, I'm hoping, and all of the teams that are in front of us here so far, we've seen during the regular season, so shouldn't be scared of them.
Yeah. Speaking of the seniors, what do you expect of your seniors, captain-wise, leadership-wise?
Yeah, Kyle Ramey's done a great job for us all year. He's probably our most consistent player out there, and then we've had a lot of other fillers there too. Brandon Koncherka, he's a returning libero for us, so he had a lot of time last year as well as this year on the floor. So between him and Kyle, they're our team leaders right now, and it's just a matter of them being vocal. So we've got a pretty quiet team, but when we're on the bus or doing team outings and that stuff, we're anything but quiet. So it's trying to put that off of court time and off of court communication onto the court and during play, especially in tight situations. That tends to be the time when teams will start clamming up and being more quiet and passive. So.
Was there a certain game this year or a set, anything that was kind of a turning point for the team this year?
I'd like to think we had some turning points, but we'd have a great match. We came out, we beat Glenbard East in 2 and really played really well, but then we turn around the next week and have a bad loss. Same thing, Brother Rice tournament, we came out and beat the #1 team in Missouri, St. Louis University High, beat them in 2. They were, two-time defending state champs and were undefeated this year. We come out and beat them in 2, and then the next morning against Brother Rice, we hit 5%, we have 0 blocks, and we make a ton of serving errors. So it's like, it's just has been our I guess Achilles heel all year is that consistency.
Is there anything specific you do at practice to try to improve on that lack of consistency?
Yeah, the things that we're inconsistent. We work on the things that we're inconsistent on, right? With our block and our digging and defense, just to try to get them confident in their skills. We've got a very skilled group of guys, and it's just a matter of them knowing it and being skilled and having that confidence out on the floor.
Is there anybody on this team that surprised you this year that you didn't think might make the leap that they did?
Yeah, John Davis, he's a junior outside hitter for us. He started most of the year last year because Kyle was out with an injury, so he started a lot of the year last year as a sophomore, but he's really stepped up his play this year. It's a lot more consistent. He's one of our better hitters, on the outside there. And then, besides that, same thing. Felix Agraba, he's a junior for us, but started last year as a sophomore. So those guys, with a year of experience under their belt, even though they're still young players, they've really stepped up and are now major contributors on our team.
I don't want to look ahead to next season, but what's your favorite thing about this team that you've coached this year that you'll miss next year?
Yeah, the group of guys is as a collection are great together. So they get along well. We don't have too many personality conflicts. They hang out together on the weekends. They go out to movies, different things like that. They have team pasta dinner, team dinners, and so it's just a matter of having a new group and a new bonding with next year's group. So as we look to next year, obviously John and Felix will both be 3-year starters for us. So those two guys are going to be the key to our team next year. But it's also a matter of them contributing, putting in the work, and kind of finishing this year off with as far as we can get.
Last question for you. I love asking this one to coaches. How would you define yourself as a coach?
I would say I'm passionate, demanding, and I would say, I put everything into it. So I'm hoping that the guys pick up on that. I'm a very competitive person. So it's just a matter of them living up to the expectations. I always tell them at the beginning of the year, my expectations are always a little bit higher than yours. It's difficult because when you play really well and you get to a certain level that you see that potential and you see that ability, then you want to try to get to that every time. And so it's frustrating as a coach when they don't get to that every time. So,
well, best of luck next week. Hopefully they get to that potential you want them to be and make a long run in the playoffs.
Yep. Yeah, I think we can. We'll have it. We got a chance, but we just got to show up and perform.
Well, thanks for joining us, and good luck the rest of the way.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.